Hey everybody, this is Chad from Stick's blog. I'm Stick. Today I just kind of wanted to talk about a recent hike that I went on and just kind of go over some of the gear that I used and just kind of give a little update. Of course, if you're reading or watching this post, and the hike that I want to talk about is the Sipsey wilderness hike that we just went on. Me and a couple of buddies and my son. I was lucky enough for my son to get to come. We all headed to the Sipsey wilderness in the Bankhead National Forest in Alabama. We just went out for an overnight, and our initial plans was to start at the Thompson Creek trailhead and make our way around the Eye of the Needle, Ship Rock, and camp out around Boyden Creek, and then come around or turn around and come back the next morning. Plans didn't go like that. We were so busy just looking and just having fun and enjoying. We actually missed one part where the trail turned off, and we ended up on some old trails. Long story short, we realized that we weren't headed to where we thought we were headed, so we just turned around and came back looking for another campsite, which we passed a few, and we ended up finding a place up in some rocky areas, a little bluff. And if you've watched the other videos, you've probably seen that. Temperatures, when I looked at the Wonderground when I got back, the temperature reading for Double Springs, Alabama, which is the little city that's right near where we were at, was the low was 17. So that's what I'm banking on, is we had temperatures down to 17, and I'm thinking that possibly even a little bit lower, just because we were over there around all the creeks and the rivers, and it was actually pretty cold. But anyway, we had a great time. We actually got to go off trail, actually, so it was a little interesting. We didn't, follow the trail. We made our own trail on the way. Of course, we were leaving no trace. But anyway, enough about the hike. So what I want to do is I just kind of want to go over some gear, just kind of highlight a few little pieces of gear that kind of stood out to me while we was on the trip. So the first thing I want to talk about is this Platypus 2-liter soft bottle bladder. It's 1.3 ounces, so I really like the weight factor. I like the fact that it can roll up really small. But one thing that I figured when I initially got it, I found to be true this weekend. When I'm trying to fill it up, unless I've got something that's running off into it, it's really difficult because you have to actually stick the whole thing up under the water. Basically, I got some cold hands this weekend. Nothing that was serious though, but it's not as easy to fill up as my wide mouth Nalgene, but it weighs less, it holds more, and I'm going to keep giving it a try. It does look like it has little dings and some little places in it that was rubbed. So durability might be an issue in the long run, but I'll keep reporting back on that. Another thing I want to talk about is my little Low Pro Hipshot 20 camera case. This is really cool. My wife got it for me for Christmas. I attached it to my shoulder strap by this carabiner. One thing I noticed is when I was trying to put it back, the on-off switch actually kept hitting right here. So sometimes it would turn on as I was sticking it in here, so I'd have to really watch that. So I'm going to have to be a little more careful when I start doing that. But altogether, it's 1 ounce counting the carabiner, so it's really cool. It'll protect my little camera, so I'm happy with it. Not much else to say about my Kabilka 21 other than it's still a cool cup and it created conversation at the campground. I just like it. I can't tell you what else to say. It's something that is growing on me a lot, and I'm glad that I've got it. I would suggest anyone pick up one if they feel like they might want to check one out too. I think you'll like it. I used my GSI tea kettle and my white box stove. I put about 1.5 ounces of fuel in there to boil enough water in here to, I filled it up just about where it wasn't coming out of the spout, which is about 3.5 cups. And each time with 1.5 ounces of fuel, I had enough to bring my water to boil and actually boil it for a couple of minutes more. I didn't remember to put my fuel inside my pocket of my sleeping bag like I had planned, so my fuel got cold, but I still didn't find that there was any issues that I had with that, so I'm really happy with that. One thing that I did alter, the heat reflector that comes with it is about this size, and what I did is I just took a piece of aluminum foil so it doesn't weigh anything, and I cut it out to the size of my windscreen whenever it's opened up. That way the entire inside is actually a heat reflector. Whether it actually improves anything, I'm not really sure, but like I say, I was happy with my results this weekend, and I'm just going to keep trying it out, see how it does. Moving on along, this is just something I want to briefly mention. I got something, I can't remember what I got mailed to me in this big envelope, this Tyvek envelope. What I did was I taped down the insides, I folded it over, taped down the insides, and then I ran a string through it, and now it's a stuff sack for me. I stuffed my sleeping bag in it, and it's the perfect size to fit in my ULA pack. So it's really handy. It's not completely waterproof because the top is left open, but I'm gonna work on that. Just wanted to kind of show you that. Thought that was kind of cool. Next thing I want to talk about is just sleeping pads. I brought a couple of my different sleeping pads because my son and my buddy used my sleeping pads. My buddy used the Expad Sinmat 7. The reason that he used this one is because he didn't use a ground sheet or anything underneath him. He just threw this on top of some rocks and some leaves. We kind of put a few leaves over some of the bigger rocks. He threw it down and slept there for the night. And I must admit, I cringed most of the night just hoping that he didn't move the wrong way and it would pop or anything. But it made it throughout the night. He stayed warm. He said he didn't report any cold from underneath him. And actually, it's not even dirty looking. So I'm really happy with the Expad Sinmat 7. My son used the Thermarest ProLite 4. It's a regular size. He did report, he said that he got some cold underneath him. So we ended up putting some jackets and stuff underneath him, trying to improve the R value. Some of that helped, and he ended up sleeping pretty good throughout the night, but just did on his own, he said he got cold. Just throwing that out there. Of course, if you watch my other videos, you know what my thoughts are on the Neo Air and the Gossamer gear. I'm going to say that I was really afraid because that first hour that I laid there, I was afraid that I was going to have to give up my Neo Air, and I've really come to love this thing. But like I say, I started out with the Gossamer gear on bottom, Neo Air on top. Didn't work for me. As soon as I swapped it around the other way, I immediately felt a difference, and for me that's the way it's going to go for the rest of the time with the closed cell foam on top of the air pad. That's just me. Last thing I want to talk about is my ULA circuit. I can't say enough good things about this pack so far. I've only had it out for 2 days. 20 pounds was the most, counting the pack that I carried. It rode like a dream. I didn't find myself adjusting hip belt, shoulder straps, load lifters. I didn't find myself doing none of that. It just rode good. Put it on, it was easy to adjust. I don't really have any complaints about it. I'll kind of report back. I'm going to be taking it not this weekend but next weekend for hopefully another 3 days in the Smokies, possibly only 2 days, just kind of see how that goes. But I'm really impressed with it and I really like it. So anyway, that's just kind of a little gear report. I appreciate you for watching the videos, appreciate you for sticking around and watching this one, and until next time, thank you.